What's happening, man? What's happening? What's happening? Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Oh, salute, man. Salute T Money, man. He said I'm past due. Keep on keeping. Shout out to T Money, man. T Money in the building, man. Salute to Deep Money, man. Shout out to my man Douglas Chunks, man. We in the building, man. Shout out to Douglas Chunks, man. Oh man. Shout out to Douglas Chunks from everybody at Alpha Nation, man. Shout out to Douglas Chunks from everyone at Alpha Nation, man. Let's get it cracking, man. Salute. Mount Rushmore. Shout out to you, man. Man. Let's see. Let's get it cracking. Let's get it cracking. Let's get it cracking.
The Oakland.
Let's see what's going on in Oakland right now, man. What's going on in Oaktown, man? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. There we go. Let's see what's happening here in Oakland, man.
There were protests right here in the Bay Area ahead of President-elect Donald Trump's second inauguration. We go now to KTVU's Betty Yu, who brings us this story from the East Bay.
So great to be here on this beautiful day to celebrate our unity, to celebrate human rights,
People of all ages gathered at the steps of Alameda City Hall for all kinds of causes. Signs read, "We won't go back," and "Politics out of women's health care." Carol Graham said she felt empowered at the People's March. She put a photo of her grandchildren on her poster.
Since the 70s, I marched for equal rights and for
Ma'am, no offense, old lady, but you've had equal rights since the 70s. Press 1. What are you marching for? You have equal rights.
Since the 70s, I marched for equal rights and for women's right to choose and abortion rights. And
ma'am, you have the right to choose.
And equality.
The Women's March has been rebranded as the People's March for broader appeal. People showed up to the rally for causes they believe are under threat from the incoming Trump administration, including abortion rights, LGBTQ rights, and climate change.
A lot of rage, I think, about what's happening, but also what
she has a lot of rage, y'all. When the Democrats was in power, she didn't have rage about anything they were doing. And now she has rage. She's enraged right now.
wanting to really give people hope. It's part of the national and sometimes international women's march, but they clearly changed the title this year because so many people are being affected.
Elliot Matisse brought his family, including his 2 children.
I think everything that we're seeing is being stripped away.
Hey, y'all, carjack him right now. We need to have wanted posters for teens, man. Put him on a wanted poster. We want him to be carjacked immediately, y'all. Next time y'all see him, carjack him, y'all. He got a problem. He got a problem right now, man. He complaining about something right now, man.
I think everything that we're seeing is being stripped away is really important to me. But, being a father to young children who...
Shut the fuck up, punk. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, punk. Everything being stripped away. What's being stripped away, punk? And you'd probably deserve to have some shit stripped away, man. You white men are living too good, man. White men, y'all got it too good now. That's why y'all the softest generation of white men. Y'all do need some shit stripped away, man.
Are LGBT identifying, having a wife who is a minority. It's all around us.
From City Hall.
Are LGBT identifying, having is really important to me. But being a father to young children who are LGBT identifying.
Hold on, your young children are LGBT identifying? Hold on, these girls are LGBT identifying? Oh yeah, that's a boy. So is this a boy? Which one? Oh, okay. So he one of these is
Family,
a boy,
including his 2 children.
Okay, she's a girl and he's a boy. Okay. So his daughter's a boy. His daughter's a boy and his son is a girl. So he has 2 LGBT kids. And he's sitting here fucking lecturing us about, about, what's being stripped away, something being stripped away. Yeah, it is. Like, having a trans kid is like, it's in vogue. It's chic. It's all the rage. Having a trans kid is like all the rage. This guy is fucking preaching to us about fucking. He's preaching to us about anything. The fact that he's not being like curb stomped right now for the shit he's doing, he should be curb stamped.
People are being affected.
Elliot Matisse brought his family, including his 2 children.
I think everything that we're seeing is being stripped away is really important to me. But being a father to young children who are LGBT identifying, having a wife who is a minority, it's all around us.
From City Hall, hundreds then march all the way to the South Shore Shopping Center.
What you do tomorrow is crucial. So we're hoping that people will stay engaged, will stay in.
And these two are with that shit. These two are cool with turning your kids, your little teeny kids, into trans kids. They're cool with that. But they hate Trump.
In the fight and stand up for democracy.
All Rise Alameda, a grassroots initiative with a progressive political platform, was one of several groups represented.
Without community, you can't build or retain a democracy. And right now, I'm thinking about
all these fucking buzzwords. These fucking old fucking hags don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're just using buzzwords. It's the buzzword Olympics. None of these people really understand what the fuck they're saying or what they're talking about.
Dad, who was a World War II hero, and thinking about what he would do in a situation like this. And at the very least, he would stand up and be counted.
In Alameda, Betty Yu, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Golly, man. These are some strange fuckers, man. These are some strange fuckers, man. Wow.
Well, Matthew Mueller is now facing life in prison after pleading guilty without any deal to 2 home invasions here in the South Bay. These crimes happened 6 years before Denise Huskins was kidnapped in Vallejo, and what police there had said at first was a hoax.
Today, Matthew Mueller pled guilty to all charges he's facing in Santa Clara County.
Against his attorney's advice, Matthew Mueller, seen here in an earlier court appearance, pleaded guilty to home invasions in Mountain View and Palo Alto a month apart in 2009. In each case, prosecutors say he confronted a woman, tied her up, and gave her medications to drug her, intending to sexually assault her, only to back off when she pleaded for him not to. Before leaving, he told one woman to get a dog and gave the other similar crime prevention advice.
We are hopeful that this conviction today brings healing.
Yo, gliders are so crazy, man. Gliders are just different, man.
Say he confronted a woman, tied her up, and gave her medications to drug her, intending to sexually assault her, only to back off when she pleaded for him not to. Before leaving, he told one woman to get a dog and gave the other similar crime prevention advice.
We are hopeful that this conviction today brings healing and closure to the victims of his crimes.
The women had to wait 15 years for justice.
We commend the incredible courage and strength of the victims and their resiliency in the face of the crimes that were committed against them.
In 2015, 6 years after the South Bay attacks, Denise Huskins was kidnapped in Vallejo by an intruder who then raped her in a South Lake Tahoe cabin. But she and now husband Aaron Quinn were branded hoaxsters by Vallejo police because many of the details of their ordeal were deemed too far-fetched. Mueller was later convicted in that case, which was profiled in the Netflix docuseries American Nightmare. The couple...
Imagine the police call you a hoaxster. White... They called them hoaxsters. Wow. And I guess this is Trump's fault.
attacks, Denise Huskins was kidnapped in Vallejo by an intruder who then raped her in a South Lake Tahoe cabin. But she and now husband Aaron Quinn were branded hoaxsters by Vallejo police because many of the details of their ordeal were deemed too far-fetched. Mueller was later convicted in that case, which was profiled in the Netflix docuseries American Nightmare. The couple's now married with 2 kids and have provided training to law enforcement, urging them not to fall victim to tunnel vision.
They've used that experience and turned it into a force for good in collaborating with police departments to make sure what happened to them never happens again.
The prosecutor, along with Mountain View and Palo Alto police, visited Mueller in federal prison in Tucson back in October to help tie him to the Santa Clara cases.
It was a unique experience. Mr. Mueller was willing to provide information about many incidents.
Now, Mueller was also recently charged by the Contra Costa DA with kidnapping 3 victims for ransom near San Ramon. That case is still pending, and that crime, in fact, is alleged to have happened 2 weeks after that Vallejo case. As far as Santa Clara County, Mueller's due back next month. He's expected to be facing
Hold on, how much he's facing?
life in prison.
All right. Jeez. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Hit the like button, man. Smash the like button, man. Smash that like button, man.
There was nowhere safe, not the library, not your shower, not even your room, your counselor.
A sexual assault survivor of an infamous women's prison in Northern California is sharing her story for the first time. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Kimberly Hunt, and my co-anchor Wally Aliou is on assignment. The federal prison in Dublin in Alameda County was known as the Rape Club by corrections employees who abused inmates. The prison's former warden and other staff are now behind bars. As Team 10's Austin Grabish shows us, victims are now being compensated in a historic multi-million-dollar settlement.
I'm broken, trying to fix myself, trying to love myself again.
The pain is still fresh for Denora.
Going to prison, yes, I put myself in there, but I didn't sign up to get abused, threatened.
The mother of 3 is trying to heal.
If you're in my shoes, at that moment, you're nothing. You belong to them. They have your body, your mind.
She's a survivor of the infamous Dublin prison east of San Francisco.
I was molested, forced to do things I didn't want to.
It's ABC 10 News' policy not to name victims of sexual assault without their permission. Denora has asked that we only use her first name in this story. Sexual abuse at the facility was so rampant, staff dubbed it the Rape Club.
There was nowhere safe, not the library, not your shower, not even your room, your counselor.
The lawsuit says the warden took interest in you right away.
So you say a couple of things that you went through, what you did before being there and what you do now. And that's where they get your weakness and everything they can use against you.
Denora, who used to live in San Diego County, says the abuse by corrections staff began shortly after she started serving her 6-year sentence in 2018 for running drugs over the border.
It was an everyday thing, dancing, stripping, being scared of going to the shower because they're going to come in and look at you naked.
Did any of the female guards ever intervene?
No.
The lawsuit says that one of the guards said, I know you will be deported. I can find you.
They will say, we know where you're from, Sinaloa. We got people too. So of course I'm going to be afraid.
At the center of the abuse, Warden Ray Garcia. A recently settled federal lawsuit says he forced Denora to perform oral sex on him and during his rounds would make her dance naked. When it wasn't the warden, it was prison guards with sexual demands. The lawsuit says one officer with a vulgar nickname was, quote, notoriously perverted and threatened Denora.
And were you able to speak out at all when you were still inside and this was happening?
No, scared of retaliation. You couldn't say anything. Imagine getting threatened every day. You want to see your kids? You want your phone calls? You want your visits? Or you want to go to the shoe?
And get this, Garcia wasn't just the head honcho at the prison. He was also in charge of enforcing a federal law at Dublin meant to deter sexual abuse of inmates.
He, the person in charge with preventing rape in prison, was one of the prime culprits perpetuating the rape in prison.
San Diego civil rights attorney Jean Iredale represented Denora in the lawsuit against the Bureau of Prisons.
This case was historic in the sense that there has never been a case involving the exposure of such widespread, long-lasting, and frequent abuse in a prison institution.
I get the sense from reading the court documents that these men thought they were untouchable.
They did think they were untouchable.
The abuse was so rampant, the FBI raided the prison last year. Garcia, the prison's chaplain, and multiple guards have since been convicted of sexually abusing inmates. The federal government recently agreed to pay nearly $116 million to settle lawsuits from over 100 victims, including 3 women in San Diego. Denora is getting $1.4 million.
That's not justice for me.
Yeah, that's
Not the amount of
enough.
what we're getting will ever change what they did to me. I have that scar and I'm going to keep it for the rest of my life.
And even if they were with it, man, you still can't have sex with the inmates. So they're either way, like even if she was, totally in favor of it, those people have a job to do. She got 1.4 million. That's it. Jesus Christ. She needs to get crump, man.
Back in Northern California, where the abuse happened, the Dublin prison is now closed. But the memories of the terror inside.
Wow. Every single day you can do this story, man. You can do this story every day. This story right here.
She was trusted by the school district and by parents, but
Every day. White women, man. Shout out to my glider queens, man. Y'all love y'all some young boys, man. Nobody loves young boys more than glider queens. Now, I know those on burritos, they love young girls. And white men love young girls. It's hard to tell who loves young girls more. Black men, white men on burritos. It's hard to tell. But man, it's a landslide. It's the results are in. Stop the fight. When it comes to loving on young boys, white women got the title. You could do this story every single day if I wanted to. This every day when I look through the news, it's a new story like this every single day. I shit you not.
she was trusted by the school district and by parents. But tonight, a 5th grade teacher in Cape May Courthouse is accused of having a sexual relationship with one of her students. Detectives say the abuse started when the child was 11 and lasted for years, and that the two share a child. Wednesday night, I'm Shari Williams. Rick has the night off. The big story on Action News tonight is a South Jersey teacher behind bars accused of sexually assaulting a young boy and having a child with him. Action News reportedly...
Hey, man, that's her baby daddy, man. Jesus Christ. That's her baby daddy, man. That's crazy. You beef with your baby mother and you get her locked up. But she been messing with you since she was 11.
This might be the funniest video I saw in a while. This might be the funniest video I saw in a while.
License and registration. All right, can you get out of the car so I can check your car? What's it? Can you get out of the car so I can check your car? Like, can you step out, please? All right, everything's good. You can go home. Your car's good. You can go home. Okay. See. What? No, go home.
He said, see, yeah. Okay, Bobby, see.
No, go home. No, go home. Ir pa la casa.
He's like, I'm not resisting, man.
Pa mi casa.
Yes.
Mi casa.
House, yes.
Yo, big shout out to dude in the video, man. Y'all tell me this wasn't the funniest video on this. Y'all leave y'all thoughts in the comments, man.
I'm in my unit and they're like, hey man, you know we're about to go to war with DC. I'm like, what? He goes, we're going to war, man. Do you have a knife? I'm like, no, I had a job in Unicorn. I was ecstatic. I was doing legal work. I'm like, okay, I found my little niche. I can do this. I've already got my knife. People are telling me how to strap it to my hand so if it gets bloody, it doesn't slip. So we're going to war. What's happening is it's supposed to go down in 3 days. Everyone's supposed to suit up and we're supposed to meet on the rec yard. Each day is going. Iceman is making announcements. So when he got to our building, all of us are in there. We're all gathered up and he's making this is war. This is going to go down. We're going to let these people know they can't do us just any kind of way. Like every day, I'm like, God, please don't let me die. So he's giving the spiel. I'm like, hey, I got a question. He's like, yeah, what's up, bro? I said, why are we going to war? What happened? Like, he go, man, one of them DC dudes made a move on my big. What? Yeah, man. I'm like, so we're going to war because someone was hitting on your boy? Yeah. Like, sounds like a you problem. I'm like, I'm not going to risk my life, make long and hard about this because you do this, you on your own. Yeah, that's it. I'm out of here.
1 minute, the fields were clear.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome.
Oh, I'm on the wrong channel. I'm on the wrong channel, man.
What is going on, everybody?
Tonight we have a story, an update to a story actually that broke during our afternoon newscast. So 2 people are recovering after a shooting near Howard University. It happened on W Street Northwest. We have a story, an update to a story actually that broke during our afternoon newscast. So 2 people are recovering after a shooting near Howard University. It happened on W Street Northwest near 2nd Street around 4 p.m. We saw police investigating on V Street between 2nd and 4th. A few minutes later, DC police tell us a man was shot in the hand and a woman inside a Howard building was cut by some broken glass. University officials aren't saying if those involved are students or if they worked on campus. Tonight, DC police are still looking for this car connected to the shooting. It is a silver sedan.
Around 6.
Thank you, Mike. Richmond police are investigating not 1, but 2 stabbings in one afternoon. And now officers turn to the latest incident where 1 man was shot tonight. Our crime insider John Burkett shares how detectives are taking on the cases and how the victims are recovering. John?
Well, Julie, as you said, several scenes of violence in the city tonight. The north side, the south side, the most latest in the east end in the Fulton area. My sources telling me a man is shot in both of his legs. His injuries appear to be non-life-threatening. Police looking for suspects in that case and asking for the public to call detectives with information. Now, earlier tonight, at least one arrest made in a stabbing on the city's south side. A man has life-threatening injuries, and believe it or not, it wasn't the only stabbing of the night.
They're ready to be in this area after it gets dark.
Crime tape draped across cars in the parking lot of Castlewood Shops, a strip of food dives, nightclub, a nutrition business, and a barber shop.
Saw the tape, and the police officer said I couldn't go no further.
Richmond police investigating the life-threatening stabbing of a homeless man that happened in between two parked cars around 5:30 Friday night. Sources tell me the suspect, another homeless man, was arrested a few streets over.
Oh, that ain't no real stabbing. That's not even real crime, man. Two homeless people. That's not a real crime. Why you wasting our time reporting on that shit? The homeless dude stabbed another homeless dude. That's like it didn't happen, man. That's like a tree falling in the forest, man. That's like animals. That's like two animals. You know, it's like a goddamn mountain lion bit a bear. Like, you wouldn't put that on the news, would you? Fuck is this, man? What's going on, man?
Stabbing of a homeless man that happened in between two parked cars around 5:30 Friday night. Sources tell me the suspect, another homeless man, was arrested a few streets over. Sources saying the violence erupted after an argument between the men.
You come in these restaurants or stores and you have vagrant people outside begging, and you don't know what to expect. You know, it's all over, you know, and I eat at this place here like twice a week.
2 hours earlier, on the city's north side at the Richmond Dairy Apartments on West Marshall Street, a similar situation. Sources tell me an argument ends with the man being stabbed. His injuries also life-threatening. Sources add that the two stabbings are not connected.
It's been a second stab.
What's going on, man?
Not much. How you been, man?
Everything's cool, man. Latinos for Trump, man.
Not much, man. I wanted to ask you something, man. I've been hearing this little rumor going around that that Trump might take basically if a woman claims child support, she can't claim the tax credit at the end of the year. So whoever pays the child support is the one that's eligible for the tax credit. I don't know if this is true or not, but this has been going around on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw something about that, man. I be wary of that shit, man. I be very wary of stuff like that, man. Because something's going around the black sector, is usually don't be exactly the way they said it. So yeah, it says
As Donald Trump prepares to walk back into the Oval Office, we were talking about some of the voters who sent them there. And specifically this morning, we were focusing on men. While Republicans made gains with almost every single demographic in 2024, including women, it was young men under 30 and Latino men of all ages who broke the most for Donald Trump in what some have dubbed the bro vote. This is very much not the gender gap that many expected to be talking about, but it's real, and the race is on now for Washington to do something about it.
As Kamala Harris campaigned to be America's first female president,
When we fight, we win.
with the support of some very...
I don't know. Let me see if they... Jesus. Child tax.
That's what I'm saying. I looked, and I couldn't find anything of him specifically stating that, but that's the rumor around, people spreading, and I'm just like, I didn't hear him say any of this, but if he did, I mean, that's not a bad idea.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think that would have been, women would have been complaining about that so much, man. It says, damn, so Trump making it so if the father is paying child support, the mother can't file their kids on their taxes.
I'm gonna send you a video in the back. Give me a second. Like, it's just like a little compilation.
Nah, it ain't. I don't know. It said there's no evidence to support the claim that Trump intends to prevent women. Yeah, there's a on YouTube, there's a community notes on this.
Right? Yeah, I don't think it's true. That's what I try to tell my friend, and I'm like, don't get too
Yeah,
happy.
it just sounds like it would have been way more. It would have been way more like
Yeah, it would have been way more backlash, man. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? That's what I told him. I'm like, you getting your hopes up, man. They will never do that.
Yeah, nah. And listen, he a baby daddy too, but he wouldn't do that, man. You can't run on that, man. Um,
The tragedy surrounding the death of Gilly the Kid's son, YG Cheese, just got a whole lot more tragic.
Right now, police are trying to piece together what led to a shooting in Olney that left one man dead, 2 other people injured. It happened around 8:30 tonight at Masher Street and Nadro Avenue in Olney. Police say a 25-year-old man was killed. 2 other men are in stable condition. No one was arrested.
YG Cheese was shot and killed July 30th on the 5800 block of Masher Street in Olney, Philadelphia. Now, his death brought a lot of sadness throughout the industry because Gilly is very well connected. And about a year and a half later, no arrest has ever been made for the death of Gilly's son, YG Cheese. But as we all know, an arrest ain't the only justice in the streets. And to be honest, most street dudes will see their op getting arrested as an easy way out. They will much rather prefer handle justice in their own hands.
Breaking details on the homicide investigation of 17-year-old Noah Scurry. He's the star student athlete gunned down outside his home in front of his mother while getting ready to head to Samuel Fells High School. And that's where our Kelly Rule is live for us tonight. Kelly, what are you learning?
Well, Sheba, police say they are looking for at least 2 people for this homicide, possibly a third, and they believe they do have the vehicle that was used in the crime. But tonight, law enforcement sources are telling me they believe Noah Scurry appeared in a rap video with guns that was posted to social media the day before he was killed.
Scurry, this is the hood Static Shock. During the day, he was a basketball star. He was the smartest kid in his school. He had the highest SAT scores. He had D1 college offers. But during the night, he was a murderous, gang-banging rapper. And he would even wear a mask whenever he rapped or whenever he engaged in street activities because he didn't want for that to interfere with his high school basketball dreams. You gonna need another headshot count on my body. Yo, this a D1 crash out in the likes we ain't never seen before. He had D1 offers to go to college, and he was a D1 crash out in the streets. He would rap about having 5 bodies, and then in this newly released song called Swing My Way, he openly raps about how now they would need 2 hands to count his bodies. Insinuating that he just caught another one and put his body count to 6.
Creating the last one we call was stuck on the pavement. I sit on the stage, I'm collecting the paint. I hit with the vine when I thought he was tank. I know she back door, I'm gonna still take my chance. That was a fully turned to a dance. He's talking to bitch and this nigga keep panicking. Came out the V, he can never come back again. Never, nigga.
I know what y'all are thinking. Man, Flacco, cut the buffoonery, bruh. This kid ain't never catch no bodies. Yeah, it will seem like it, but no. This kid was an alleged killer. During the day, his family only know him as Noah, the basketball player. But during the night, he was known as Joker OTV. And he wasn't just rapping about bodies. He was allegedly catching the bodies as well. See, he was being credited for a very high-profile murder in the city of Fat Dame. Noah not only murdered Fat Dame allegedly, but he walked him down with a switch and took his face off in broad daylight.
His face is good.
Noah Scurry was never arrested or charged with the death of Fat Dame before his own death, but it was pretty well known in the city of Philadelphia that Noah Scurry may have...
Yo, that kid lucky he didn't foul him, man. Could you imagine if you fouled this dude too hard? Flagrant foul on this nigga?
I'm just thinking of a scenario where, like, this guy would have had, I don't know, let's say he would have had gone to college, D1 scholarships, the money
Aaron
coming in.
Gonzalez, he'd have been Aaron Hernandez.
Bro, you took,
Yeah, he'd have been whacking
Oh, he
shit.
would have,
Aaron Hernandez was whacking shit in college too, down in
Can't
Florida.
get people like that money, man.
NIL, could you imagine this dude with some NIL money? Shit. Listen, I say this though, man. Basketball is a physical sport. I wonder if he ever I want to hear if you ever threatened anybody on the court. Like, you know how shit get popping on the basketball court, words be exchanged.
I bet he did, man, but it's a different type of energy, bro.
Or did all these little dudes already know he was about that shit? Because it seemed like the streets knew he was about that shit. Like, everybody in the streets of Philly knew he was with it. Like the young people, but the administration and the teachers and shit, they thought he was just a great kid and shit.
I mean, he was smart. What didn't he have like a 4.0 or something?
Allegedly, man. But yeah, he had the highest SAT score in his graduating class.
Allegedly, because you got to understand how these media be portraying people sometimes, man. I'll tell you a story, man. There was this kid. I ain't gonna mention names, man. This kid was wilding, man. Like, he had a couple bodies on him, and his day came. And then the newspaper posted that this man was going to be a pilot and all this shit. And I'm just like, bro, stop lying, man. This man was never going to be a pilot.
You ain't talking about Trayvon, are you?
Nah. This shit in my state.
Okay. Yeah. That's how they do it. But yeah, I mean, this little kid was and in Philly, man, it ain't nothing for a young boy to have some bodies, man.
Been responsible for that death. But that death was so vicious and so ruthless that the high school girl who walked by stated, "Oh my God, his face is off." So if Noah Scurry is responsible for something that vicious and that ruthless and that cold, this wasn't just an average kid. This is a sociopath. This is a kid who was bloodthirsty. And when you look at all the rumors going on and you hear people who's close to the situation speak about it, that's
probably how he got his D1 offer. He told him, nigga, man, don't guard me too hard, little nigga. They're like, damn, oh my God, he's so creative with the basketball. He always loses his man. Whole time dude scared to guard him because he's a killer, man.
Scared to guard him, bro.
Yeah. Let them get rebounds and shit. He leading the city in rebounds. Yeah, I bet he is leading the city in rebounds. You need to let him get the rebound.
Letting them shoot too, because if not, we're gonna shoot you for real.
Right.
Who was bloodthirsty. And when you look at all the rumors going on and you hear people who's close to the situation speak about it, this doesn't appear to be a situation where Noah Scurry is getting revenge for anything, or where Noah Scurry did this because he's repping a block in their ops. No. Noah Scurry represents a particular clique, OTV, who apparently their entire mission is to just catch high-profile bodies to get their rep up. They're not beefing with these people. They don't these people. Their mission is to catch high-profile bodies to get their rep up. It's like Aiden Waters and YBC Duel. YBC Duel had no issues with Aiden Waters. Aiden Waters was a high school track athlete, a high school star who could have won a college on a scholarship as well. But Aiden Waters caught the body of YBC Duel because he wanted to get his rep up. So these are not situations where these people are adversary. So to walk somebody down with a switch and take their face off like that, with no intentions, no malice, no hatred, no animosity in your heart for that person, it shows you're just a different breed.
Officials as 17-year-old Noah Scurry.
It's a horrible day. This is something that no one imagined. The student, according to police, was getting in the car on his way to school behind his house with his mom. So this is something that is quite unimaginable.
When you hear about the crimes that Noah was allegedly involved in, it would somewhat make sense when you hear the manner in which he died. They walked up while he was in front of his mama, getting in his mama's vehicle, and they murdered him in front of his mom. For something like that to happen to you, Brad, they would have had to have such malice, disdain, hatred in their heart for you that is unimaginable to even explain or try to comprehend. Their hatred for Noah could be explained if Noah was walking up to people with switches taking their face off. Now, shortly after his death, a few hours, the murder vehicle was located. It was a white Jeep. And a day after the murder vehicle was located, one man was taken into custody for the murder of Noah. Believe that 3 people could be involved, but one man that's currently in custody is C Baby, which is Gilly's nephew, YG Chee's cousin.
Damn. Jesus Christ. Gilly, man. I hope Gilly don't get tied back to this like, yo, Gilly told me to do it. Gilly gave me the word. Or damn. Or text messages or anything like that, man. Damn.
A day after the murder vehicle was located, one man was taken into custody for the murder of Noah. Believe that 3 people could be involved, but one man that's currently in custody is C Baby, which is Gilly's nephew, YG Chee's cousin. Now, it's currently unclear why police are speaking to C Baby or why or what they believe his role in Noah Scurry's death is, but C Baby is currently in custody. Now, the interesting thing about this is before C Baby got arrested or got detained for Noah Scurry's murder, C Baby had a very interesting IG post. C Baby is keeping it true to the street code, man. The body ain't worth it if the streets don't know you did it. So after allegedly catching the body of Noah, man, he's on the IG story dissing Noah. My FanDuel ticket cooked. Just know they did it first. Blood, whole. He went ahead and said, I feel sorry for it.
Oh shit. These dudes is different, man.
Yo, it's like I was just about to tell you, it's like back then in my day, you know, I'm about to be 37 like a month.
Y'all ain't had this though, did y'all?
Nah, man. It was like, you know, be the biggest hustler, bro. Like the biggest player.
But y'all ain't
you know
have
what I
social
mean?
media like this though, did y'all?
And now it's like these kids get money and that don't matter. The cloud is about like being a badass, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Being a
like,
killer, dude. Being
yo,
a killer.
running on demon time.
Whacking shit. Damn. This dude post this. No way, man. This is insane, man.
The thing about this is before C Baby got arrested or got detained for Noah Scurry's murder, C Baby had a very interesting IG post. C Baby is keeping it true to the street code, man. The body ain't worth it if the streets don't know you did it. So after allegedly catching the body of Noah, man, he's on the IG story dissing Noah. My FanDuel ticket cooked. Just know they did it first. Blood, whole. He went ahead and said, I feel sorry for his mama. Clown, broken heart emoji. But this right here is the post we got to pause on. He would write, get your rest, Cheesy. That boy gas now. Confirming they smoke.
God. Yo, you can't be. Yo, this is insane, man. This is absolutely insane, man. These kids are posting all this. This is literally circumstantial evidence like a mother. But white people, their criminal justice system, this is still circumstantial evidence. But golly, if they got any hard evidence, this is a slam dunk case.
Shit. Man,
That boy's cell phone, putting them on the scene or anything like that, all this become relevant. But you just can't use this by itself.
Prison reform was a mistake.
Yo, the Emancipation Proclamation was a mistake. Press 1.
Yo, what?
Smoke Noah Scurry because Noah Scurry was responsible for the death of YG Cheese. But it gets more self-incriminating, people. See, the song he used, Intro by Lil Durk, it had some very incriminating lyrics. On the intro, Lil Durk rap, see the one that killed my blood, laying in blood, I can rest. Now, obviously, this applies to the situation, but it applies to the situation in a deeper sense. There was a video going around of Noah Scurry laying in blood as his mama is
Yeah, I
over him
saw that.
hugging him.
I saw that.
This right here is not just this is the most self-incriminating thing I ever seen, bro. Ever. Yo, at this point, me and the police do the same job, bro. We look at IG for a living and we get paid for it. It's time to go to the police academy, bro, because catching these ninjas is getting easier and easier as the day go by, man. But it doesn't appear that C-Baby even cared about incriminating himself. He wanted people to know that this was because of Cheese. He wanted people to know that Noah died because he did something to Cheese. It's a shame, man. But if Noah Scurry was out here claiming to have 5 bodies, and one body they're claiming is he walked down Fat Dame with a switch and took his face off, and now Cheese family is claiming he killed Cheese. Yo, the Noah Scurry was a menace, right? The Noah Scurry was allegedly demonic, a serial killer. So it doesn't appear like C-Baby, if he was involved or is involved, it doesn't appear he cares about being arrested by the police for this at all. It looks like he's pretty satisfied with the outcome. And he was ready to go to jail or ready for whatever, the consequences would be because he got his man. Y'all let me know in the comment section. What do you guys think about this?
That's wild, bro. Like, that you don't care for your own life because you don't even know if you're going to get 20, 30, 40, 50, or you might never come out. Like, and like, none of that shit ever comes to these people's mind.
You don't care.
Is that what you're hearing in the streets? What they saying in Philly
Yeah,
about this, man?
yeah, that's the word.
That shit's crazy. That shit's wild, bro. Like, it's
What's
like
that dude from Philly? The one who do
YCB Duel.
No, the YouTuber, American Confidential, some shit like that.
Oh yeah.
Where he at, man?
Yeah, that shit wild. It's like the Wild Wild West out here, man.
See, that's what I was saying last night. There really ain't no gang banging out here. It's these guys, man.
Yeah, it's the cloud chasers.
They out there pushing shit back. Damn, they pushing niggas shit back for just to say they did it.
That's crazy, bro. It's like the code. It was a code in my era, man. That shit don't exist no more.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Yeah, man, that code been died, man.
Man, boy whacked Gilly's son because he was Gilly's son, probably too. That's the way they make it seem like.
That's just corny, bro. But then again, it's like, man, if you see that your pops is making money and you're in a different status now, you can't be hanging around with these animals, man. You gotta hang around with a different type of class of people now. You gotta adapt.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Meezy or J2 back with another video. And in this video right here is going to be a follow-up to the Philly vid I dropped a couple days ago. Now, in the past 48 hours, a lot of details came out. A lot of shit's coming out.
But yeah, man, that's crazy. Damn.
We are back in Philadelphia with more on the death of Noah Scurry. It appears that C-Baby from Ozone may have been booked for the hit. Most are saying it's Get Back of YNG Cheese, the son of Gilly the Kid. More details have been emerging quickly. It's all wild. Let's get into it.
So now these niggas gonna get back for this though, because that's one of their top hitters. If he got 5 bodies, he one of their top hitters. So they gonna get back against these niggas for killing. And that shit gonna keep going.
It's going to create a whole new beef.
Yeah.
It was 6 bodies.
Most are saying it's Get Back of YNG Cheese, the son of Gilly the Kid. More details have been emerging quickly. It's all wild. Let's get into it. The story begins with the murder of YNG Cheese, a young man whose life was cut short in a violent act that rocked his family and community.
Yeah, he was out
Cheese
there
was more
too.
than just
Cheese wasn't fucking sitting home reading books and shit. Cheese was out there. He was older though. He's a little older. He's in his 20s, right? Cheese is in his late 20s or mid 20s. He Gilly first son. Huh?
I think he was in his mid-20s.
Yeah, he Gilly first son, so he a little older.
Yeah.
The murder of Y&G Cheese, a young man whose life was cut short in a violent act that rocked his family and community. Cheese was more than just Gilly the Kid's son. He was a rising figure in his own right, representing promise and potential. His death devastated not only his father, but also those who saw him as a beacon of hope in a world often overshadowed by despair.
Investigating a deadly shooting in Olney that left one person dead and 2 others hospitalized. And this morning, a source close to the family tells us that it is the son of rapper and podcaster Gilly the King. It's his oldest son.
So this all happened around 8 o'clock on the 5800 block of Masher Street. The 25-year-old rapper was rushed to the hospital where he died, shot in the back. Other 2 men also shot. They are now in stable condition. No arrests have been made.
Yeah, you want to hear something crazy? These niggas out here shooting now.
Like I said, the old.
They shooting right now.
Yo, yeah, I bullshit you not.
Dang, that's crazy.
Oldest son of Gilly the Kid and Wallow, of course, who's very close. They have a podcast together. They're constantly seen together, Wallow and Gilly the King. He wrote this last night. Lil' cuz, usually when I talk to you, I have a lot to tell you. Tonight, the pain in my heart and tears spoke to you. Love you beyond life. I have your father. I got your father, Westwell.
Salute to Deluxe 247, aka Cal Ripken, aka the real MVP, coming through once again. Shout out to Barry B, man. Barry B in the building. Oh man, I tell you, man. Jesus Christ, man.
So sad.
So, of course, we're learning more, and we're working to get more details about this. But once again, gun violence reaching everyone. No one is immune to it, and how it's affecting so many of our young people and affecting this city nearly every day.
Yet in Philadelphia's street culture, grief is rarely met with healing. Instead, it becomes fuel for vengeance. Gilly the Kid, a man who had long navigated the treacherous waters of fame and street credibility, faced the unthinkable loss of his son. For a father, no amount of street justice or police intervention could ever fill the void left by such a tragedy. The pain was palpable, but so too was the anger that rippled through the community. People whispered of revenge, their voices tinged with the grim inevitability of what would come next. In the streets, where respect is currency and pride is everything, Cheese's death demanded retribution. At the center of this rising storm was C-Baby, a childhood friend of Cheese, and someone who shared deep ties to the same community. For C-Baby, the loss was more than personal. It was a betrayal, a wound that cut to the core of his loyalty and identity. In the world of Philadelphia's rap and street culture, where diss tracks and public taunts often serve as both battle cries and death sentences, emotions ran hot. The streets became a stage, and vengeance became the next act. C-Baby's grief morphed into rage, and his sights turned to Noah Scurry, a young man linked, whether by evidence or mere association, to Cheese's murder.
Right now, chilling video.
You know one thing too, the news don't really understand that is in the underworld, or even in just the hood, in the know who know. Like, I used to know who killed a lot of people just from being in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, like it ain't no like mystery and shit amongst those who know. Like like yo, that nigga ain't like, he ain't on the first plane to Mexico and shit. He ain't fucking walking around with a trench shades and a trench coat. Them niggas, when they kill somebody, they don't want to be seen as hiding. They want to be they want to be seen as like they not hiding, especially if it's like if the police not looking for them. So it's like if it's unsolved or the police don't got no leads, them niggas be their face card. They be out there with their face like, yeah, I ain't hiding, nigga. Yeah, blah blah blah. So it's like, yeah, I if people the streets say this dude did it, that's almost like 100% because like you can't really take nobody work. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't like if it's a rumor that you killed somebody, you gotta clean that shit up because niggas might come look. You know what I'm saying? Or if it's your body and you standing on it, that in the streets really know that you did that shit because it's a lot that come with it. So it's like you ain't just gonna let somebody think that you killed somebody. Like say I killed somebody and they say I killed somebody and I ain't do it. I ain't just letting that. Nah, I ain't do that shit. I ain't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just letting it be out there for years that I'm the one who killed somebody. Nah, I ain't do that shit. Fuck no. So for this boy to have the streets saying he did that shit for a year and a half, he did that shit.
The streets became a stage, and vengeance became the next act. C Baby's grief morphed into rage, and his sights turned to Noah Scurry, a young man linked, whether by evidence or mere association, to Cheese's murder.
Right now, chilling video just obtained by CBS News Philadelphia showing the exact moment a gunman ambushes a local teenager on his way to school right in front of his frantic mother. And new today, police get a major break in this case as they recover a Jeep that they believe could be connected to this very brazen murder. Good afternoon to you, everyone. We're also streaming live for you on CBS News Philadelphia. I'm Natasha Brown.
And I'm Siaf Lewis. CBS News Philadelphia's Carrie Corrado has been leading our coverage on this story. She joins us right now from Fells High School in Summerdale with more. Good afternoon, Carrie.
Good afternoon, Siapa. Police are one step closer into figuring out who is responsible. They say they believe they found a vehicle that may be connected to the shooting. Chilling video from a neighbor's security camera captured the moments after Noah Scurry was shot. Police say the 17-year-old Fells High School senior was shot multiple times as he was getting into a car on his way to school with his mom. Investigators say he was rushed to Albert Einstein Medical Center, where he later died. The video also shows a white Jeep Grand Cherokee take off from the alley behind the teen's home on Rohrer Street early Tuesday morning, right after the shooting. Police say they located the Jeep that matches a description of the car they were looking for in Northeast Philadelphia. Chopper 3 captured it in a police impound lot. And now CBS News Philadelphia has learned that Scurry has been shot before. Sources tell us back in May of 2023, he was one of 3 15-year-olds shot on Mulberry Street in Frankfurt. A 66-year-old was killed. That crime is unsolved. As police try to find the people responsible for Scurry's death, the community is distraught. School officials say Scurry was the high school's top scorer on the SATs and a member of the basketball team. The Philadelphia School District says there are emergency crisis response counselors on hand for the students. Colin Williams, an anti-gun violence advocate, says the trauma is so deep for classmates and family.
To be doing what is routine, what should be safe. In an alleyway, when this man was destined to be great, again, I individually can't place a definition on what type of trauma they must be going through.
Williams says he's concerned for the future of young people.
My biggest fear is to ever become numb to it. You know, because every child that loses their life, that never had the chance to really dream, is heartbreaking.
As for what's next, police are still working to determine a motive, but the community and investigators alike are just wondering why. I'll send it back to you.
Noah, like many others in this volatile environment, was not just a participant, but also a victim of a culture that glorifies violence. Instead of seeking a way out, Noah leaned into the chaos, feeding the same culture that had ensnared him. On social media, he flaunted his alleged involvement, taunting his enemies and reveling in the attention. These posts, meant to assert dominance, ultimately served another purpose. They marked him as a target. The trend of self-snitching, where individuals publicly boast about crimes, has become a dangerous hallmark of this culture. Social media, once a tool for connection, now amplifies conflict, turning private grievances into public spectacles. For Noah, these posts were a fatal miscalculation. By documenting his actions, he not only escalated tensions, but also provided his rivals. And
How
later,
many bodies Gilly's son got? That's what I want to know. How many bodies do Gilly's son got? Was he a stepper? Was Gilly's son a stepper? Or was he just a rapper?
Not that I know of.
But also provided his rivals. And later, law enforcement, with a trail of evidence. C-Baby struck back swiftly.
Swiftly? It was a year and a
In
half.
the aftermath, rumors began to swirl that C-Baby had already been arrested for Noah's murder. These whispers coursed through the streets, a mix of speculation and inevitability. If true, the arrest would mark another chapter in a story where actions born of pain and anger lead only to prison cells or graves. For many, the potential arrest was seen as justice served, but for others, it was a stark reminder of the futility of the entire ordeal. No amount of arrests or retribution could bring back the lives lost or heal the wounds inflicted. This tragic chain of events sheds light on the toxic culture of dissing that has consumed Philadelphia's streets. What began as a lyrical competition in rap has morphed into a deadly game of humiliation and provocation.
That ain't just Philly, man. That's every streets. Damn.
That shit is straight death culture, man.
Tell me about it, man. Unbelievable, man.
Right now, Columbia police confirming that this teenage girl right behind me here named Kanaya Baker was murdered. The details are gruesome. And we understand that earlier today, investigators, they shared her identity. News 19's Rachel Ripp is following this case and has the very latest update this Friday night.
We reported Kanaya Baker missing on Thursday. Richland County deputies posting this information publicly around noon, January 16th. She had last been seen Monday, January 13th, and Friday, we're getting more answers about her death.
Anytime we have an unidentified person, we are asking everyone involved to rush the process.
Fuck the police.
Not rush it in a way that may make mistakes.
Fuck 12.
But to say, what things can we do to identify this person as soon as possible so that we can contact the family?
According to the Columbia Police Department, investigators are working promising leads in connection with the murder of Kanaya after she was found in a vacant home following a fire on Cardamom Court this week. Her body found about 15 miles away from where she was last seen.
There are no words that can help them understand that pain. No parent should have to bury a child. So understandably,
we.
Yeah.
Yo.
Mrs. Officer, Mrs. Officer.
Yeah.
her mom was very upset. So I did speak with the family. It's devastating, and they reacted in a way that you could feel their devastation.
According to the incident report from Columbia Police, officers were dispatched to the house fire at 11:20 p.m. Wednesday in reference to a murder and case of arson. According to a separate incident report from Richland County Sheriff's Department, on Monday around 6:20 in the morning, deputies met with a person saying Kanaya ran away between midnight and about 6 a.m. This person said Kanaya had recently purchased a telephone and may be connected to her running away. News 19 previously reported Kanaya missing back on July 3rd, 2024 in Sumter. And Sumter police have confirmed this was the same girl.
There has been some circulation on social media about Kanaya's history of maybe she had been a runaway or maybe she had, done some things.
So if she a runaway, a young girl that's a runaway in the hood, she a little she for the streets. You did. She out here hood hopping. I remember back in the day, like we'd have a girl like and everybody would be smashing her, right? Like she'll be like this. Like say like they bring her over my house, right? They're like, yo, we got a little bitch. She gone. And they're bringing the John over. We all smash her, whatever, take turns, whatever. And she might need some place to stay. We let her stay. All right, she stay here. We smash. And then you find out she was over some other nigga's house the other day with them niggas, the niggas from up here. And then she been over here like little girls used to go through the whole fucking city or sections of the city getting smashed. Trains ran on them by different crews and shit. It's girls out here with so many bodies, man. As far as like you know, smashing. That shit was crazy, man. And then you'll see them somewhere with their boyfriend, and it's just like, you know what I'm saying? You don't like blow them up or nothing. You just be like, damn, that's crazy. Like we had her, we had that junk. Like not I had her, like we had her. You don't remember that Mystic Philly? Like go in the room, your homie smashed the junk, then he come out and be like, go in the room, just go in there, the lights off. And
I ain't never
you
been
go,
parts of that shit, but
huh?
I ain't never been parts of that shit. But it was a culture, you know.
Yeah.
It was
I'm not
definitely.
saying like yeah, but you know about it, right? Like
Oh
them
yeah,
joints where everybody they just be smashing the whole crew. Like they just be smashing the whole crew. They smash everybody in the crew. And they might try to act like they don't want to at first. Like you come in the room and be like, oh no, I'm here with your friend. And you got sweet talk them and smooth talk them and shit. And then they let you smash and you leave out, then the other man's coming in.
that type shit my little nephews was into.
Yeah, exactly. It's like young nigga shit though. It's like it's really like young nigga. I remember the Roots had a skit about it in their video in their album. Remember that? What the album? What they
Yeah,
that should be real.
And the fact remains is that Kanaya is dead. And I don't care if she ran away a million times. She didn't deserve to die. She didn't deserve to die. And I think
Yeah, but M626, that shit is not like uncommon, man. That shit is like so common. That shit is so common. Like it's not like something that like it's like unique. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying nothing that's like unique. I'm saying something that's just like everyday shit in these neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? That's everyday
for
shit.
real.
That's not like something where I'm like earth shattering. I'm like confessing to a homicide. Nah, that shit like all day, every day. Especially in the summertime and shit. Yeah, out of school.
Yeah, right.
The little runaways, like when the little chick be or when they be saying they be missing, they don't be missing. They be shacked up in some neighborhood getting G'd out. They call it getting G's run on and G'd out. They ain't missing. They having the time of their life, man.
And the fact remains is that Kanaya is dead. And I don't care if she ran away a million times. She didn't deserve to die. She didn't deserve to die.
I'll give her that.
And I think that people need to be focused on that.
Rachel Ripp, News 19 WLTX.
And tonight, Columbia police are urging anyone with more information regarding Kanaya Baker to please give them a call.
Yeah, man, that shit ain't about nothing, man.
Other news tonight.
That shit ain't about nothing.
Other news tonight, the former Stamford man who's accused of stealing almost $1 million in an elaborate DoorDash scam was shot to death Monday in New York. This came right before he was due in court in Stamford for a potential resolution in that case. News 12 Connecticut's Marissa Alter with the latest tonight.
David Smith was supposed to appear in Stamford Superior Court Wednesday morning to accept or reject a plea offer in his case. Instead, the state's attorney's office learned Smith was killed 2 days ago.
New Rochelle police found David Smith shot several times in the chest Monday morning.
Yo, all the time I was thinking $1 million scam. I think they're gonna show a white dude. It's us again.
Getting it.
This nigga had $1 million scam, man. Shit.
days ago.
New Rochelle police found David Smith shot several times in the chest Monday
You see the Cuban? He was in the streets.
Yeah, for real.
morning at the Heritage Homes complex. Police said a personal dispute led to the 22-year-old's death. They've since arrested 4 men in connection.
Community members did help with this, with calls to the police of the shots and descriptions of people running away.
Smith was living in Mount Vernon. He moved there after Stanford police arrested him in June 2023 in what one investigator called the most massive scheme he's seen. Smith is accused of scamming DoorDash drivers in California out of almost $1 million. Investigators recovered a large chunk of it.
Yo, I heard about this. I heard about this.
What?
They caught up with that dude. Yo, that's crazy.
Young boy was out there eating, man. I ain't never seen no nigga with no briefcase like that ever in my life, man. I see some niggas with some money like that, but this nigga was walking around with a briefcase. This nigga was like a movie, man. Damn.
In California out of almost $1 million. Investigators recovered a large chunk of it, $733,000 in cash when they seized 5 safes from his apartment. Police explained how the scam worked. They said Smith would use one of his many phones to place a fake DoorDash order in California. Then when the driver was on the way, Smith would impersonate DoorDash support and claim there was a problem with the order.
He would get them to click a link or go to a website, and then that essentially would turn over their credentials, their username and password to him. Once he was in control of that, he would change the billing information and steal any funds that they had for deliveries they had done, basically steal their paycheck.
More than 700 drivers were.
Yeah, I heard about that. He was looking for him for a minute, too.
Niggas in Cali, they stay. Yo, man, terrorizing people in Cali, man. God damn, you wicked with it. That's a son, man. That's a different type. He ain't FBA, man. This nigga ain't no FBA, man.
No, he can't be.
Ain't no way he FBA. Who here think his dude FBA, man? Little goddamn African looking motherfucker. Little fucking Desmond Tutu looking motherfucker. That motherfucker ain't no FBA. FBA would never come up with no shit like that. Most FBA do is rob a Uber driver and like get his phone and shit and like sell his phone for like $50 or some shit. and they get caught and do what? Do 59 years in prison for that shit.
In what one investigator called the most massive scheme he's seen. Smith is accused of scamming DoorDash drivers in California out of almost $1 million. Investigators recovered a large chunk of it, $733,000 in cash when they seized 5 safes from his apartment. Police explained how the scam worked. They said Smith would use one of his many phones to place a fake DoorDash order in California. Then when the driver was on the way, Smith would...
FBA would have did it in the same town. FBA wouldn't have been scamming niggas in Cali. FBA. Is this Connecticut? This Connecticut here, the FBA would have been scamming niggas in Connecticut. They called him after like the 3rd time he did this shit. This nigga like Ghanaian or some shit, Ghana or Haiti or some shit.
Would impersonate DoorDash support and claim there was a problem with the order.
He would get them to click a link or go to a website, and then that essentially would turn over their credentials, their username and password to him. Once he was in control of that, he would change the billing information and steal any funds that they had for deliveries they had done, basically steal their paycheck.
More than 700 drivers were scammed over the course of 2.5 years. Police said Smith also stole the identities of dozens of people to open debit card accounts where he transferred the stolen money.
Wow.
Smith was considering a plea deal in the case at the time of his death. His decision to take the offer or go to trial had been expected at Wednesday's court hearing. The details of the deal weren't made public.
As for the over $700,000 in cash that was seized in this case, Stanford police still have that money. What happens to it and whether it will go to all the victims as restitution will be determined at a hearing in March. That's also when the charges against Smith will officially be dismissed. In Stanford.
And breaking news, there's been a it's been a break-in at the Stanford evidence
Yeah, right.
evidence headquarters.
What happened to the other 20? What was it? What they said they found 730 something, 3,000 something, whatever. You know where the difference went.
Right. Yeah, man. We
If you
found,
stack
yeah,
one, I got one here, stack it. Hurry up.
Man. Wow. Sons, man. Yeah.
This how some of your police officers be driving $100,000 luxury cars on a $50,000 salary.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. That's hard to resist, man. It'll be hard to like not at least pocket some lunch money, man. Like, yo, take a dub to get a pizza or some shit. Fuck that, man. Let me just take this 1,000, man. I'm gonna pay my rent. 2,000 pay for the next couple months. Yeah, nah, especially if you the friend. Yeah, nah, man. That's just hard, man. It's hard to resist cash money like that, man. But a lot of them do. I will say this: a lot of cops is just like, you know, they not dirty, but it's gotta be a dirty in every crew. One that, yo, you got $1 million. We bust you. Is $1 million there, and backup ain't show up. Where's backup? Oh, that stuck in traffic. Oh shit.
Right, where they stash it somewhere or call these peoples to come grab it.
Yeah.
We had this cop back in the day here in Philly. I think he worked at the 18th district. His nickname was Tornado. He used to run down on the dope deals, man. He used to do them dirty.
Oh yeah. Jump outs. Yeah, the jump outs, man. They got them in DC. That was their job. Jump out on the drug dealers. Some of them used to do that shit. Take their money and shit. Let's see. Wow.
In Berkeley, 3 people stabbed and one of them is now dead. And now the incident have residents of this neighborhood asking why. Tonight, police are investigating, saying it started off with a report of a stolen car. NBC
Shout out to Shut Up I Can Cook, man. Long time no see. Shut Up I Can Cook. Happy New Year, man. Long time no see. Shut Up I Can Cook in the building, man. She a wild one, man. Y'all might not know Shut Up I Can Cook. She wild, man. Shout out to Shut Up I Can Cook.
As Alyssa Gord explains.
It was a chilling scene today in this Berkeley neighborhood as neighbors came out to this intersection and saw that 3 people had been stabbed. Berkeley police had the scene blocked off at Acton and Russell as they investigated. The ground covered with evidence markers and clothes. Police first got called to this area just after noon about a stolen car.
We came from the park. We seen the police flying up the street.
But police had to pivot as they got more calls from the same area about 3 people on the ground bleeding. One neighbor who didn't want to be identified stepped out in her socks to speak with us.
We just saw this man run past and say, help, help. Then people came. He fell on the street.
This neighbor said she didn't recognize that man or another man in the area whose chest was covered in blood.
Everybody came out to help, like first aid and tourniquet, and they were there till the ambulance came and took them away.
Police say they found 2 men and 1 woman with stab wounds. All 3 were taken to the hospital, but the woman ultimately died of her injuries.
My neighbor told me 3 people got stabbed and 1 passed away, and that's sad to hear.
Police are investigating this as a homicide, but they don't believe there's an ongoing threat to the public. There have been no arrests made. Police also have not identified the three people or what happened with the earlier call about the stolen car.
It's unusual. You hear stuff going on everywhere, but over this area, it's really
lying. Probably one of the worst neighborhoods in fucking Oakland, man. Let's see. Wow. Damn.
I came across this story earlier. I mean, this joint was total chaos. It was people tubing on a river, and some dude got out and started stabbing. Bunch of people got stabbed up. Yo, it was just a chaotic scene, and the cops and emergency was trying to get to him. It was just wild. It was here on YouTube. I'll
It's
put
a
it in
new
back
story?
check. Huh? Yeah, I'll
It's a
put it in
new
back
story?
check.
Wow. Everybody hit the like button, man. Smash that like, man. Smash that like button, man. You say you. Let me see. Salute the Salute the shut up I can cook again. She said celebrating Trump insanity. I am wild. Nope. Yeah, you wild. You wild. Shut up. But yeah, at least you sane enough to support Trump. Shout out to Andy Armour, man. Andy
It's in the
Armour.
back check. I'll put it back there.
All right. Oh shit. That motherfucker an hour long.
They
I
get right
thought
to the
this shit
point
was
though.
short.
I skipped through it too. I didn't sit and watch the whole thing. But
Oh yeah, I
skipped through
seen
it.
I
Yeah,
seen
wow.
this. I seen this. This is a black dude that did that shit, right?
I can't even remember because I was just skipping around.
Hold on. No. This was no, it wasn't. No. That's right. That's right. I remember this shit though. I remember this shit. This was white. This white people shit. Yeah, I remember that. That's an hour though, champ. Good God Almighty. Let me see something shorter, man. Let's see this, man.
And guys, in this next news story, 4 men have in jail for life for murder over a gang shooting outside a child's first birthday party. Kamar Henry Richards.
Look at that, man. Andre 3000. Fucking
Yeah.
God damn. Oh man, damn, man. Shit.
Great degenerates.
And guys, in this next news story, 4 men have in jail for life for murder over a gang shooting outside a child's first birthday party. Kamar Henry Richards, who's 26, Kaamani Brightly Donaldson, who's 25, Jeffrey Guillema, who's 23, and Zhao Patekote, who's 28, were behind the gun attack on Casey Booth outside the Peter House Community Centre in Walthamstow. It later emerged the same gun had been used 2 years earlier in an attack on Mr. Booth's older brother, which he survived. After the shooting, Henry Richards, a drill rapper known as KO, wrote lyrics boasting about both attacks. He rapped and said, "Big Booth and Little got hit, same sig, that's a sour family." Both got slapped at functions, neck and head handguns come handy. In another version, the lyrics read, "Big Booth should have got his neck back ripped, Little got burst, should have been with his." So today, Judge Lynn Tatum Casey sentenced Henry Richards, Brightly Donaldson, Jeffrey Guillema, and Zhao Patekote to life in prison for murder. Henry Richards and Patekote were both ordered to serve at least 37 years in prison. Brightly Donaldson got 38 years and Guillema was ordered to serve 35 years before being considered for release from prison. The judge said the shooting was a revenge attack arising out of gang rivalry in the context of an ongoing pattern of tit-for-tat violence and condemned them for carrying out the attack at the location they chose. He said, "You knew children would be coming and going, attending a children's birthday party." The judge said Mr. Booth was involved in gangs, but first and foremost, he was a young man with his life ahead of him who leaves behind a mother, partner, and children. She said carefully planning went into the attack, including obtaining a gun, organizing a stolen car for the getaway, and
Yeah, these niggas overseas be drilling hard, Jack. You feel me?
Right, right.
Like, yo.
And they do it with knives and swords and machetes.
There you go. I mean, I wonder, do you think it's ever gonna be a time where, you know how niggas tour and shit, right? They, you know what I'm saying? It'll be a beef between a British or drillers and American drillers, the crew. Like they beefing across the pond. Like you can't come to England, you banned from England, nigga, and they ban the other ones from the United States and shit. And it'd be like they be beefing like sir bodies be dropping between them and shit. You think that'll ever happen?
I don't know, but it's not far fetched, man. You never know, man. You never know.
Cause this shit's serious. Like they serious with that shit over there. Like I don't seem like they would because here's the thing, drill is about getting your name out there. It's about, up in the ante and shit. And you know what I'm saying, pushing the envelope. So it's like if you a drill crew from Europe and shit, and you're not as popular as the ones from America and shit, and like say like let's just say for instance, right? Say like Lil Durk and OTF or some shit would have went to England, right? And got into it with some niggas or some shit, or tried to link up with some niggas, right? You know how like for like protection or some shit like that, and the niggas they linked up with, some other niggas was like, "Oh, you linked up with them, you are up now," and some shit happened, right? Let's say some Lil Tim King Von shit happened, like some just like random shit at the club or some shit, right? And the English niggas caught a body from a American drill group, or vice versa. That shit could kick off quick, just like that. You know what I mean? Or even over word.
Yeah. I think
it's like,
I think that would start a crazy situation within the culture itself too.
Yeah, because these niggas like Africans over there, they not like Americans and shit. Like these motherfuckers, like immigrants. Like a lot of these people, their parents is the first people to not live it. Like their parents, they are the first people to not like live in Africa and shit. You know what I mean?
Right. And some of these people, they come from war-torn countries and have fought in wars, and and did some of the most heinous crimes, to humanity, just in them little small wars in them countries.
Right. So it's like that would make them like a little bit more like treacherous than Americans. Even though the Americans is the FBAs or whatever you want to, because or the Americans are still treacherous, but these niggas is like savages and shit. You know what I'm saying?
They on a different level.
They'll walk up on you and stab you to death.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like niggas in America, they might stab you if like that the shit jump off and that's what they got on them when it jump off, but they not going hunting.
Yeah. Like they got to use firearms. They take they ain't getting up close and personal.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting, man. I think that's gonna be interesting to see if that ever happened, man. International drill beef, man. Good night. Shut up, I can cook. International drill beef. Let's see. What's going on, guys? How's everything, man?
What up? How you doing?
Evening.
What's cracking?
Good morning.
I can't help but notice I see like 4 apes on the screen. So what's going on?
Yo, Pantheon, do you think it could ever be international drill beef?
I don't think it's such a subsector in the UK that I don't think they're well known enough for it to. It could. I don't know.
Okay, these four, they drill rappers in fucking London.
Person, but the result of a plan which required a number of people to carry it out in a coordinated way.
Let me see if I can find a different video on KO. This guy talking too low, man.
But that does also seem like it's just a random group of Sunmen from East London. Like they're not exactly like Stormzy or I don't know other well-known.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, Stormzy.
Yeah, they're literally just it's been just a random group of four guys in Baltimore. There's no importance to anything.
You broke up there at the end, but yeah.
Still run us tunes and make some records, so Tudor G is getting rich, it doesn't have to end.
What's going on, YouTube? It's Bam Rugga Bam here reacting to KO. I don't know how to pronounce that word, but yeah, man. Apparently he got 37 years for a verse. Like for him rapping, he got 37 years. That is insane. I don't feel like
he got 37 years for the killing that he rapped about. That actually happened.
What's up, fam? This your boy Cut to the Chase TV. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and be sure to share this video. I got some news for you Negroes today. Drill rapper KO shot and killed a man in front of his kid and then rapped about it in a song, which led to his arrest. Now, this is a very controversial case because the
could this ever happen in the white community in Canada? Where
unheard of.
White kids aren't enamored with rap. White kids rap. When are they going to start drilling?
Well, here's the thing about that, and I've told this to a few of my friends, and they thought it was funny, but you have to understand, right? Since sons have like a full standard deviation lower IQ, it's kind of like remember when you were growing up, right? You were a kid, you watched WWF or WWE. Like 9 out of 10 people knew that it was bullshit, but they still enjoyed the show for what it was, a show, right? But then there's that like one fucking retarded kid who like still thought it was real until he was like 25.
I think it's like 2. I think 2 out of 10 because I know people that really.
So sons are that 2 out of 10 when they listen to rap and they think they're like marching orders to kill each other. But when like white people listen to it, like we understand it's like the WWE. It's just like a performance. It's not to be taken literally, and you're not supposed to go kill, random people and stuff like that. So,
but what about wanting to be down, like wanting to be like wanting to be like immersed in the culture, like white people, like Eminem and white rappers, like you grow up around, you know what I'm saying, and you just want to be, you love the culture, you love it, and you want to be part of it, and the only way to be part of drill is to drill. To actually drill in real life.
Yeah, but like it's just not in our DNA to like, act in such like with that amount of like callousness and just like disregard. Like we can't help but empathize with other people. So that means we're not really capable of just like having an op and just fucking killing him and stuff like that. Like it's just not. It's just we can't really do that because it's just not normal for us. But for sons, like it is normal. So I think this whole UK thing, I mean, that ought to put the whole culture argument to rest, right? Like, it doesn't matter where they are. If it's UK, USA, Australia, New Zealand, like, it's just what it is.
Prosecutors admit that they used KO lyrics against them, and they know that he didn't pull the trigger and he wasn't on the scene. Now, I know a lot of people in the drill rap, a lot of people involved in the culture, they don't like the fact when government uses lyrics against rappers. They say this is art. This is freedom of speech. He's just using his imagination. But KO made a crucial mistake. Yes, he has freedom of speech. Yes, it's entertainment. But when you get too specific about details, that's when you draw on the line. See, KO, he made a diss record, but he forgot the most important part you're supposed to do. You're supposed to remain vague. You're supposed to beat around the bush a little bit. This Negro told everything. He started talking about the gun used, the manufacturer of the weapon, who all got hit. And the prosecutor was like, we got enough to convict his ass because he's saying stuff that wasn't even made public. So we know he played a part in it. Let me read you guys this article, and I'm going to break it down because this story gets even more shocking. Let's go. Boom. Let's read it. Promising rapper jail for life after bragging about tit-for-tat gang murder. A promising drill artist and 3 gang associates have been jailed for life over the tit-for-tat revenge shooting of a young father, which was glorified in the rap video. Kamar Henry Richards, known as KO, was involved in the murder of Casey Booth on August 13, 2022, then boasted on a video that the same gun was used to injure the victim's brother 2 years earlier. On Tuesday, the 26-year-old was jailed for life at the Old Bailey with a minimal term of 37 years for the murder. Judge Lynn Tainton KC said this was a planned revenge attack arising out of gang rivalry in the context of an ongoing pattern of serious tit-for-tat violence. So the same issue we got in the United States with drill rap, they have that same issue in the United Kingdom, London. These gangs are going back and forth. They are conflicting violence on each other. And the first thing they do is run to a studio and brag about it in songs, mock the other rival gang, and get up on each other's skin. And they go back and forth, back and forth. I take out your man. I go to the booth and rap about it. You take out my man. You go to the booth and rap about it. So it's an ongoing gang war. That's what's going on in the UK. But let's continue. She noted that drill music played a limited part in the evidence in the case, which also included CCTV and cell site data. So let me get this straight. She said, yes, it's...
Jesus Christ, man.
There ought to be like a international law that like basically stops nations from like importing sons, because it's just like a spreading kind of disease type thing. You just can't have these people in your society, or else you got this.
That's a few centuries too late, but hey.
Yeah, way too late. You guys kind of like
400 years too late, but go ahead.
I think what Gladys did was they imported sons, right? And then it kind of like became like a leveling off, like, or just a coping, or you learn how to deal with the sons, right? You've been with the sons so long, they're like the necessary. They're like just like, it's kind of like living in a house with like a rickety furnace, or like or the stove. You know, you gotta like light it. You can't just turn the knob. You gotta light it. Just like little inconveniences. And now y'all messing with these Arabs, and I think that's where the real problem comes in. Where like, because you guys had already had enough, your hands full with the sun. We require so much, you know what I'm saying, hands-on attention from gliders, that now you got Arabs coming in and Muslims and whatever, Middle Easterners. And now it's like, you guys got a real problem.
Yeah, they're 10 times the threat that a fucking Sunman is.
Yeah, because sons are mostly going to kill each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're mostly going to, and the crime is mostly going to be like whenever there's a son crime, what they say, there's no further threat. There's no threat to the public. After once the niggas run off, there's no threat to the public. Like, they could kill 10 people. So niggas can run up and can shoot 10 people, and the spokesman for the police department going to say at the press conference, there's no further threat to the public, because it was just over an argument, or somebody looked at somebody, or something like that. When them Arabs start coming over and doing their shit, it's going to be a further threat to the public after that. If you don't catch them on the scene, you got a further threat to the public.
Yeah, because I think I actually don't, the religious aspect can't be understated, because obviously sons were indoctrinated into Christianity, so they've taken that. So there is some element of
Yeah,
white
exactly.
culture they've adopted, but with the desert demons, that is completely separate.
And with the religion comes like just the temperament of being a Westerner. Like, even if they're not Christian, even if a son man's a Muslim, he's still a Westerner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But those Arabs, like, they are not from the West, Jack. You know what I'm saying? And they could almost never be. You know what I'm saying?
They are like a militant force, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, you're right. Like the gliders have had to like fucking. It's basically like beaten into us as much as it's beaten into you, that we have to deal with each other in the U.S. But you know, in the 1900s, there's just no fucking excuse for Australia or New Zealand to import these people when they didn't exist in their country. Like, there's just no fucking excuse for them, man.
Yeah, especially.
I think it's moral superiority by gliders. Like, oh, we created the modern day system. All these people in Africa are suffering so much. Live Aid, we've got to bring them into Australia and New Zealand.
You know,
Because honestly, till 5 years ago, I heard nothing. Well, not 5, but 5-10 years ago, nothing about the South Sudanese and all the Somalis and so forth in Australia. I just had as immigrants like Greek Cypriots and, you know, like maybe some Southeast Asians. But having all the Africans in Australia is just insanity to me.
No, they're a new thing too. But they're gonna. This video Auk is doing right now, we're gonna be doing in Australia at some point too. Because if you have a critical mass of them, you're gonna get the same fucking bullshit, the same drill rap, all that shit.
No, he's already done it lots of
Oh,
times.
has he?
Yeah,
Okay.
and they're
Yeah,
gang banging. They're
yeah,
making lots
yeah.
of places
damn
unsustainable for
sure.
gliders in some neighborhoods.
Oh yeah, and they're like, the average height is like 6'3", 6'5". Like, these are like huge people, those South Sudanese, and they're just
Lanky
like,
motherfuckers.
The
yeah,
basketball players.
they're huge, and they're dark. Like, they're not like dark like a Senegalese or a Haitian. They're dark like
Blue black.
the
They're
night.
purple. Yeah, they're purple.
They're big and black. And they're savages. Like, they're proto-humans. Like, they're different than the Nigerian or the Ghanaian. They have even a lower IQ. You know what I mean? They're just like, yeah, they're protos. They're like literally from another time. They're the missing link type shit. Let's see. So this is the gun memorial. The last day we have is the 16th.
Yeah, this is fucking wild, dude. It's almost unbelievable.
It's like literally all of them. Like, and listen, here's the thing: if there was a white mass shooting, right, where like some white guy killed like 18 white people, right, in one day, right? Still, I remember the day we did that one time. A white guy did a mass shooting, and his victims were like 20% of the gun victims that day. it's like yo, blacks do like a mass shooting as a collective, like several mass shootings every day worth of killing.
All ages too. Like, whenever we see these fucking sun collages, I'm always impressed with just like the gap in the age. It's like 13 to 99. It seems like anyone can get it.
Yeah, facts. Oh, here you go. Here go our boy, Noah Scurry. And he killed six. I think they said 6 bodies. He had 6 bodies. So it's like, and a lot of these sun men on here are same story. We just don't know it because we know that this story hasn't made news, but the vast majority of these people, and this is what happened to this glider right here, man. Reems Creek residents had a history of gunfire complaints before fatal shooting incident. Man charged with involuntary manslaughter. Okay, so that glider, Yeah, he got killed by another glider. Okay, so he got killed by a glider. Okay, that's the fact that it's rare too. When you, well, not rare. About half of the gliders on here were killed by black people. It's just insane, and like 99% of the black people were killed by black people.
Yeah, it's missing context that you wouldn't really know or assume, right? Unless you watch this show.
Yeah, wow. This guy killed in Gateway Fred Meyer robbery. Tried to intervene. The fuck, man killed in Gateway Fred Meyer robbery. Tried to What the fuck? Oh, let's see this glider, man. What did this dumb glider do, man? Jesus Christ. What did you do, Mr. Glider? There we go.
To some, it's just a vacation. To others,
David, so initial investigations are suggesting that a 47-year-old man identified as Jonathan Trent from Portland was just trying to help when he was killed at the grocery store this Monday. Officers were responding to reports of a robbery and shots fired outside the Fred Meyer on Northeast 102nd Avenue near Halsey Street just before 4 p.m. That's when they found Trent on the ground in the parking lot. He was then transported to the hospital where he was declared dead. The Portland Police Bureau says at first there was no indication that Trent was shot until he received medical care and then eventually an autopsy. The medical examiner has confirmed he died of homicide by gunshot wound. Portland police described the situation as awful.
And he should have gone home a few minutes later, and he didn't. And it's because he witnessed a crime and he tried to intervene. This was a good man who should still be with us today and isn't.
Jeez, man. Probably saw some son man trying to steal some old lady's purse.
Yeah, he just couldn't help but fucking intervene. He just had to, didn't he?
That's DNA. That's DNA on the glider part. Yeah.
You can just tell by like his eyes. You can just tell he's just a good boy.
He's on a kayak in this picture. Like, he's like
exactly.
Fucking whole glider, man.
I think gliders for 2025 have
all.
to realize that they are running. Like, America has multi-parallel societies. Like, they have their own society, Suns have their own society, Desert Demons have their own society. And if he saw something which literally didn't relate to him, he should have just called it into the police, gone to the safety of his car, and just not intervened.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't attribute your own norms and culture onto, you can't attribute it to groups that don't follow it, because you're going to end up dead.
Yeah, that's sound advice. Just basically avoid black people.
Yeah. Awful. Works for me.
Police say the investigation is still ongoing. So far, the shooter has not been caught, and police are asking anyone with any information.
Okay, the shooter hasn't been caught. It was definitely the son. If there was a white guy that had killed somebody in a crowded parking lot of a grocery store, yeah, he'd either be dead, he'd either killed himself, be killed by cops, or he'd be like locked up.
Back in the background, I don't know if you heard, but I think it was last week, that 14-year-old got stabbed to death on a bus. And his mother, the interview with his mother, she knew, and he was gangbanging from age 6. So it's very short, 2.5 minutes, but it's very.
That's the one you put in the back chat, right?
Pardon me?
Is England?
Yes. Yeah. He got stabbed 27 times on the bus.
Yeah, she put in the back chat.
Wow, man.
Ouch.
That's a lot of times, man. Pete, they turned him into a pincushion.
A mum has revealed how her son was groomed by gangs before he was stabbed to death on a bus in a horrifying broad daylight attack. Keen footballer Kellyan died at the scene in Woolwich, southeast London, shortly before 2:30 p.m. on Tuesday. The horror unfolded on a Route 472 bus in Woolwich Church Road, near the junction with the A205 South Circular Road. His mum, Mary Bokassa, today spoke to The Sun, describing the teen as caring in a poignant tribute. She said he was very polite and caring. He cares about people and had a good sense of humor.
See how, and that goes back to what she just said, like the sensibilities, right? Because in her sensibilities, like he may have, been caring, or not saying that the gang part, but like the standard's so low, right, for being, a caring person or being, polite. You know what I mean? Like he could have been like, he could have been in, she could have had gone to like 20 PTA meetings throughout the year, and he's still a good kid. You know what I'm saying?
He's caring because one afternoon he said, "I love you, Mom," and she's like, "Oh,
Right.
he's so caring. Oh, he went to bed in time. Like, oh, he's so caring because he told
Right.
me he loves me one time."
Right. Like it's different standards, different sensibilities. So it's like, yeah, you just you can't never take their word for anything. Like when they say, "Oh, nothing like that ever happens around here," and then you look at the crime report for the neighborhood, and it's like off the charts.
He was very polite. He was interested in football and was a supporter of Arsenal. We had to move around and he was in care. He was there for 4 years with no progress. I begged.
We had to move around and he was in care, so that's like foster care.
Yeah, social services.
Yeah, so her son was in foster care for 4 years.
For contact with my son.
And I promise you, she thinks she's a great mother. I promise you.
He was interested in football and was a supporter of Arsenal. We had to move around and he was in care. He was there for 4 years with no progress. I begged for contact with my son. I had to get the support of a lawyer. He was missing for a year and was living in the streets. He finally turned up at my doorstep. He was sick, underweight, and tattooed. The mum added that her son was then taken advantage of by local gangs. She said he was exposed to drugs. He probably experienced something because I could sense it. He was not himself. If I questioned him, he wouldn't tell me anything about his friends. My son and others were taken advantage of by gangs. They were groomed.
4 years was away from me. Our contact was awesome. Many phone contacts were supervised for 4 years, and it was hard because we were very close, and the separation was extremely harsh on his mental health. It was extremely harsh, extremely. It's just
And gliders hear that and they're like, well, how can we make sure that kids aren't separated from their they start thinking like, wow, man, if only he hadn't been separated from his mom for those 4 years, he would have been like a microbiologist or
he would have been worse. He would have been worse, I think.
Yeah, especially under her care. Yeah, it's like gliders hear this and it's just like, and they thinking of about it. Their mind goes straight to fixing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of like just son where it's like callousness or indifference or you know what I'm saying? Like gliders think like, okay, how can we help this person? How can we make sure the other people in this situation, because if this is the outcome, if becoming a gang member is the outcome of being in foster care, then that means that anybody, any person, any Homo erectus that's in foster care is more likely to become a gangbanger. It is no.
It was extremely harsh, extremely. It's just completely damaged. His mental health completely, his behavior, everything. And then he slowly started to enjoy being at home, but he still had one foot on the streets. He was basically groomed while he was in.
Yeah, but
Yeah, so she said that he got or started being groomed when he was 6. And I was just thinking, how would you allow a 6, like, I just didn't really get the concept. Like, how would you allow a 6-year-old to be groomed by gangs? Are you not picking him up from school? Are you not dropping him? Because she still has a very strong French accent. So, they're very much came to the country maybe just under 15 years ago. But it's just crazy. So got groomed when he was 6, 4 years in foster care, was starting to come home in and out of gangs, still on the streets, and dies at 14. Like that seems like a full-on life. Like he's 50.
And he was a drill rapper.
Yeah.
Okay, so a 14-year-old boy was stabbed to death on a London bus, and his name is Kellyan Bokassa. Now, rest in peace. A lot of people have been asking me to cover this. I've seen your comments, I've seen your DMs. His mum, etc. So we're gonna get his side of the story with that. And we've also got VE Media, aka the UK London, I believe. I was waiting to see what I'd hear because you do hear things, but because it's so far away, I ain't heard nothing about this. There's no mutuals or anyone who knows anyone who's connected. Do you know what I mean?
Speaking to him about his music career, he said he just started. He wanted to carry on doing music. So after the video came out,
the fact that they call that shit music, you know what I'm saying? Like, they call drill rap doing music.
Shit, death culture.
That's such a bastardization of the word music, man. Like, you would think of somebody playing a violin or taking up the cello or learning how to play the piano.
Classical music is kind of what I think about. Like, I think when you say the word music, the most purest form would be like a bunch of gliders in the 1600s, using instruments and shit like that, like really making like
Playing
beautiful
off
pieces of music.
Yeah, playing sheet music and shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This is music. No, motherfucker. He's talking about killing people. Like, yo, this is crazy. It's kind of like how like the trans say like they changed the language around their shit, you know what I'm saying? Like transitioning. Like, it used to be like, yo, sex change operation. Now it's transitioning. Then they changed it again. You know what I'm saying? It's like the language, like, yeah, we're doing music. What do you do, young brother? I do music. Oh, that's nice, man. Hey, y'all, he do music, man. Like, nah, man. This fucking guy's a fucking savage.
I'm wrong. I think so. I think I've been on that.
Seemed a bit more, do you know what I mean, wiser for his age. And then, I was just speaking to him about his music career. He said he just started. He wanted to carry on doing music. So after the video came out, it was doing well. Got about 4,000 views, which is good for an independent person, no promotion or nothing. So we thought, yeah, this is going somewhere. Let's go again. So at the end of the month, we had something planned, but unfortunately.
So you were helping him put out that fucking garbage?
He think it's good. He think it's normal.
Yeah, no shame.
See,
And he also
see
said
what I
he
was
seemed mature for his age.
See what I was saying?
He doesn't understand how this may have contributed to his death.
No, not at all. Genuinely, like he genuinely did not mean the kid harm, but he doesn't have a frontal lobe, so like he genuinely doesn't understand consequences.
I was helping him. Like, he probably would go to the mother and be like, he
holding his hand to self-destruction. Like,
yeah, the mother should see him and slap him. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he could go to the mom and be like, yo, I work with your son on his music, man. He was a great kid. And she'll, like, want to, hug this guy and shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, she would, because for her, he probably has a studio, so she knows that after school he's going to be in the studio from, I don't know, 4 till 7, so he's not on the streets. So for her, this guy's a better option.
And your 14-year-old's like hanging around some grown man that you don't know, like all tight, like, and I guarantee you, she thinks she's mom of the year. I promise you, all black moms do. She probably thinks she's an excellent mother.
Meanwhile, he was helping in the grooming.
He was grooming it. The gangs groomed him, and he's helping groom him into drill. Like,
right?
If we had something, we released one project and it got 4,000 views, and we're gonna do another one at the end of the month before he got killed.
That's why I said, like, these people who shoot the videos, these social media platforms that they're running this content or whatever, they also should be held accountable for this nonsense. This is why I said, like, when I get cats that approach me like, "Yo, do me a beat for this," and that, no, no parts of that, bro. Sorry, can't help you.
Yeah, hell nah. You don't even want to be there. You don't want to you don't want to be involved with no drill music. Nah. In DC, my brother, he started a little label, and he was signed a couple little rappers and shit. And he signed a little boy I knew when I was younger. He lived next door. The boy was 7. And he had 8 brothers and sisters and single mom, right? With the boyfriend who was not the father of any of the kids until he had a baby with the mother, right? That type of situation, right? So the boy was 7. He used to fight all the time. He was bad as shit, Lord, fight all the time. And then they moved, and I never heard from him again. And then, like, oh my God, this would be 16, 15 years later. My brother was like, "Yeah, I got this artist, blah blah blah. He from Southeast, and he crazy about it and all this shit. And they got a crew and they crazy and blah, blah, blah. And it was that little boy, and grown up and shit. And then he shot somebody and he went to jail, and the crew, they was doing drill back and forth with another group, like drill music back and forth with another group, beef dissing each other. And like they was looking for people, like they was like anybody's on the table. Anybody, the nigga who did the beat can get it, and all types of shit. And I was,
See what I'm saying? See?
I told my brother, I was like, "Yo, you need to cut ties with these niggas, man. You need to stay away from these niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you
play a part.
Yeah, you like, man, you like the manager and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I guess like the label head or whatever. Like if the nigga who did the beat can get it, what you think you can get?
Yeah, being in proximity, in particular to black males, is one of the worst things you can do in your life. Like it's you just can't do it.
Yeah, man. That shit crazy. Salute to my man Mad Peace, man. Mad Peace say, salute Ock Nation. I'm at the gig right now. I'm just peeking in for a second to say, what up? Happy New Year to everybody. I miss y'all. I gotta go because I work in a hospital in Chicago. So what's the son that was oh, you doing unit? What unit are you in? Jesus Christ. Like if you it don't matter where you at. If you in prenatal care or you in the you dealing with sons. If you in the trauma unit, yeah, that's true, man.
Chicago just is a unit. It's just a giant sun unit.
Damn. ER. Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Fortunately, this happened. People don't really care about the young ethnic minority in London. You know, they just see them on the streets with their trousers low or in groups, and they just walk past them, just say they're thugs.
Yeah, and that's what you should do. What the fuck is he talking about?
For real, yo, I was just about to say that, yo.
That's the safest thing to do.
But unfortunately, this happened. People don't really care about the young ethnic minority in London. You know, they just see them on the streets with their trousers low or in groups, and they just walk past them, just say they're thugs. They don't care about them. only when someone dies or they see a music video blow up, oh, London, Sadiq Khan, but a lot of people in these communities are not doing nothing for these kids.
Yeah, we need to do things for
I
our
still
kids.
don't
We
care if
need
they
to.
die.
We need
Like, I'm
to keep
sorry.
them off the
I still don't care if they die. I'm not obligated to.
No, not at all.
I'm not obligated as a Londoner to care if these little gremlins die.
Not at all. Oh, man. Jesus. You talking about like the mentality is universal. Like we need, help us, we can't. Meanwhile, they're like destroying society, like just like beating society down, like, and they have no shame. They're asking for more as they continue to destroy your society. They're asking for your grace and your benevolence as they destroy your society.
And you're the problem too.
Yeah, and you're racist.
Yeah.
They're calling you names the whole time and shit. And like not just calling you names, but on the world stage. Like if you put that guy in front of a international like a forum or symposium, he would tell all those people there about how racist the UK is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's like, yo, they shit on you on the world stage. They come to your country and shit on you on the world stage.
Like the reason we have so many illegals trying to get here is because our social system is so high. Like these are people who get subsidized. Like Section 8 in comparison to our like social housing is the trenches in comparison to what we give people. We can give people up to houses, 5-6 bed houses and proper houses where they're next to multi-million-pound houses where you can't really tell the difference because our social system was built that we don't create ghettos. You'll have poor housing on an estate right next to townhouses because there was meant to be this the sentiment that even people who are poor, if they're on the same street as people who own their houses, it's community, it's cohesive. So that's how our social housing is. It's mixed in with multi-million-pound houses. So when you go on these estates, you are walking past G-Wagons, Mercedes, like top cars, everything. Because these people have enough money because they've been subsidized in housing, bills, everything, that their disposable income is so high. And especially if you have multi family sorry, I can't.
Everybody's getting a check.
Yeah, literally, you can have the mother on welfare. The father maybe does because you only need to do up to, I think, 16 to 20 hours a week to be under the threshold. So the father can be working 20 hours. The mother's on welfare. Then we have child tax credits. So if you have 6 children, you're getting, tax free and credits for all those 6 children. You're getting free school meals, free healthcare, free this, free everything. So these people have so much disposable income, and at the same time, they're still rubbishing the UK. They're still saying the UK is racist, and they're saying that with their right hand and asking for handouts on their left.
Wow.
And that's why everyone wants to come here, because they'll get to France and say, no, we're heading to the UK because of the benefits.
Yeah, that's what I heard when I was over there. Yeah.
Tonight, police and federal prosecutors bringing a fresh approach to cracking down on violent gangs.
The U.S. Attorney's Office turning to racketeering laws, once used to take down the mafia, and now trying to dismantle Minneapolis street gangs. They say these gangs are responsible for a generation of murder, retaliation, and drug trafficking.
Tonight, Paul Bloom talks with prosecutors, investigators, and victims about this new approach to an old problem.
And those interviews, along with a review of court records, helped us trace a generation of gang violence back to one specific incident, a deadly shooting 20 years ago. What do you remember about that case?
All we knew was some kind of house party that kind of went wild.
Veteran homicide investigators Charlie Adams and Richard Zimmerman responded to the scene at 12th and Knox in Minneapolis, May 2004.
As I recall, it was some groups from another gang that showed up at the party. And of course, then they had their interaction, and that's what sparked it.
Charging documents at the time detail a toxic mix of gang members at the large house party when gunfire erupted, creating chaos throughout the neighborhood.
10 seconds later, somebody pulled out a gun and started shooting.
18-year-old gang member Christopher Little was killed, igniting a gang war now decades long. The highs and the lows, often separated by just a single street, West Broadway in North Minneapolis. A battle over the same territory.
He's got 9 lives, man, you know?
Involving some of these same faces.
Ashimiyu Owanle?
Now under federal indictment.
He's been around.
Yo, that's crazy.
Bingo. Wow.
That's crazy, dude.
Wow.
Yo, that's an African fucking name, too. They always try to pull that bullshit like it's a whole culture argument, right? If we just bring in some native Africans, they will act like upstanding citizens.
It's Shamawu Alawabi.
It's from your tribe, possibly. Next.
Jesus Christ. These people are insane, man.
Wow,
Salute to Harry Flash when he says, please put up Sarah Garvey, Black Lives Don't Matter rant. It's succinct and African and accurate. Sarah Garvey. Shout out to Jimmy Fields. He says, same black on black, same black crown, same black jet. I'm gonna have to do the Sarah Garvey another day, but I'm gonna do it, man. I'm gonna do that tomorrow, Sarah Garvey.
He's been a target at least 3 or 4 times on some of our cases where people end up dying.
All it takes is an attitude, anger, and access to a weapon. And before you know it, it's on with one shot that can reverberate back and forth forever.
For years,
community leaders look for peace after a night of partying ends with bullets flying.
We have witnessed the resulting violence.
We need to send a call out to our community. And we want you to stop this madness of spilling each other's blood.
Gun violence and gang activity in our community deserves all hands on deck.
But now, for the first time, state investigators as well as federal prosecutors are pinpointing exactly when it started and how far it is spreading.
In any gang war and in the development of any gang, there are certain incidents that trigger both the conflict and the growth of the organization, and that's one of them.
That's not uncommon, that some of these feuds become simmering and generational in nature, and we need to end that.
In these federal court records in 2023, investigators say the feud between the highs and the lows started after Little, who was a member of the Lows, was killed. Quote, since this murder, there have been hundreds of shootings and murders between these two entities, adding that the victims of the ongoing violence include gang members, as well as, quote, innocent adults and children who have had nothing to do with street gangs.
And then she didn't come home.
Including Carmaine Tietzel's daughter.
I don't know. But, yeah, she didn't come home.
Autumn Merrick was struck and killed while riding a scooter near Target Field, October 2021.
My daughter just turned 18. Like, her life was just beginning.
The shining star of her family, Autumn, was caught in the middle of a car chase and rolling shootout involving feuding gang members, including a man connected to the deadly house party shooting back in 2004. Lavelle Elmore was convicted of first-degree riot after police say he opened fire on Knox Avenue, triggering a generation of gang violence. Now, nearly 2 decades later, Elmore admitted he was behind the wheel of one of the vehicles, the Dodge Durango, that struck and killed Autumn Merrick.
They've been in and out of jail doing the same thing. Like, I don't get it. You are 30-something years old. You don't get, you haven't changed? Like, I don't get it.
What, ma'am? He just said he's been in and out of jail. Like, he hasn't, why would he change?
Also, this fucking Hispanic lady is saying this, acting like people that look like her don't vote, you know, Democrat down ballot to ensure that these guys can just get out and do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Not that would change the real problem. Don't get that mistaken. I'm not one of those guys, but still, it's still better to have like the monster inside the cage than outside, right?
Yeah. Consequences, firm, immediate consequences is the only thing that you really understand. Like delayed consequences, not just don't get it, man.
Especially for, I think prison is probably a kind of a alien concept to a son, if I'm being honest here, because if you have like a low time preference, then losing future years doesn't mean all that much to you, does it?
Until you're actually losing them.
Yeah. And
the
like,
prospect of losing them doesn't
register. Yeah. Like he has to be in the cell to understand that he's in the cell.
Exactly. And then if you don't put him in the cell immediately, he feels persecuted.
Yeah.
That's where all the racism of the criminal justice system, because like wait a second, I killed somebody 2 years ago. You arrested me, released me on bond. I had a status hearing, I had this hearing, the continued to now it's 2 years later, and I'm finally going on trial. Yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's got to be in there basically like within a week, if not sooner.
Yeah.
Even then, he's still like a fucking piece of shit who's just gonna blame it on white people. Like it's yeah. The system is not really built for these folks.
Yeah. And then you got white people telling you that you're a victim. Real like live white people.
Yeah. Yes.
Whose whole grift and whole like life or mission is to put in your head that you're a victim. And it's like, see, look, the white people are saying it too. Like, you know,
when these sons like go into prison too, like I'm always just shocked at like how good they are at just doing the time. Because it doesn't seem to affect them when they get out, and they just go right back in, and they don't like see the consequences of their actions. Like they don't learn. They just don't fucking care.
I got a letter from a CEO a couple years ago. I wish I could find it, man. It was like maybe like 4 pages long, right? From it was an email. It was long as hell, like long pause. And he was telling me about something in prison. He was like, his basic argument was, the gist of it was that sending them to prison is not they almost instantly adapt and change their bearings. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it would be like if you're driving right down the road and it's sunny, and then you drive into a rainstorm, and you know you turn your wipers on, you drive a little slower, you touch the wheel a little, but you're still driving, and you can drive in that as long as you can drive in that for hours, because you just change your bearing. He said like they a lot of them become homosexuals, like as far as like, you know what I mean, because especially if they got time, they become homosexual, and they adopt these, like, where it's like you're not gay. Like if you're messing with a boy in prison, you're not gay. That's not gay. That's because you're in prison. And then they get entrenched in the whole thing, and it's like they literally get over the shock of being incarcerated. He said, he was telling me how quickly they get over the shock of being incarcerated, and it just becomes normal life, and it becomes to the point where they get so normal, it becomes so, they've adjusted, they have the ability to adjust, that it's not even a punishment anymore. So
I do have a theory on this type of stuff with Sun men in particular. I've always thought that Sun men, for the most part, kind of just fucking hate women. Like they like to fuck them, but like they don't really like women, and they really don't like. They really seem to prefer the company of men. Like they like hanging out with guys. They like they don't really like women. they just want to
I
fuck
think
them.
that's all men in general, but yeah,
Yeah, I do too.
on men.
I think that's all men in general. I think situational homosexuality is like you got that with all those the Romans, the Greeks, all those armies traveling. All I mean, the Navy, the armadas, all of them practice situational homosexual. Um, um, yeah, that's the situational homosexuality. Like, because with the absence of women, whenever you have a large group of men in the absence of women, you're gonna have situational homosexuality. Where the men gotta bust nuts. Men have to bust nuts. We got like, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta bust nuts. And it's like, yeah, so that becomes a thing. But as far as like being like Sun Man has to have when it's available, the Sun Man has to have a woman. Like it's a stigma to not have a woman, to not have multiple women. Like if you're a Sun Man and you're not like trying to fuck something all the time, niggas will call you gay for not actively trying to fuck things all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to always be on the prowl, or that's gay. Like you can't just be like, man, like you can't like if you're in a group of Sun Men, it don't matter if you're in college, it don't matter what you're on the job at your like, you know what I'm saying, your company or whatever. If you like, yeah, man, when the last time you smashed something, dog? Oh man, I ain't had no pussy in like 6 months. What? Like you gay? Like or if you, yeah.
I did notice this immediately growing up when I went to a mixed school. Like the son, they're like son boys at that point. They're kids basically. Like
they were active, sexually active.
Not only that, like they just knew too much about sex. Like, yo, how the fuck do you know all this shit? Like I couldn't understand it. Now looking back on it, it's like, oh, it's just kind of fucking normal for them. Like they just know what's going on like 4 or 5 years earlier than everyone else.
Sexually active, like I remember being like in like elementary school, like second grade and shit, motherfuckers clowning people because they ain't had no pussy yet. Like it'd be like, you ain't never had no pussy, or you ain't got hair on your dick. That was a big thing too. Like if you had hair on your dick, like little boys would always flash their pubic hair and be like, and if you didn't flash your pubic hair, because I remember I didn't get hair on my dick until like I was like in the 7th grade and shit. I had little peach fuzz and shit, right? I used to be like, the niggas would flash this shit, and I'd be like, because it wasn't like no gay shit. It was just like niggas be flashing their pubic hair. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, I'm a man, or something like that, right? And I couldn't. Once I got pubic hair, man, I was so happy, man, because it was like, you know, that's important. You know what I'm saying? And once you have sex, it's so happy. It's important. Like it's like elementary school. If you ain't had sex, you were oddball.
Also, like they like man, in particular, they really like to harass the white girls like nonstop. They harass women in general, but especially white girls. And now Asian girls are becoming the new white girl in this country. But it's just crazy how, I don't know, like fuck man, like do sons like even know like how to love like the opposite sex? I don't know if they do, because like I feel like a glider thinks a lot more about like their relationships, and like it's not just based solely on sex.
Yeah, sex is a big thing. Like if you ever like sprung off with somebody, some will always attribute it to the sex. Like if a dude is sprung off a girl, she got him pussy whipped. Or if a girl sprung off a guy, oh, it's the dick. Like it's always attributed to the sex. It's never like, you know, the character of the person or the mind games the person played, or you know what I'm saying, the you know what I mean, the something that the person fulfilled in that person's life. It's always the dick or the pussy. That is the reason why the person is sprung off of the other person.
Yeah, I think that's part of why you see like some of these women, that are, you know, in government housing, and like they're perfectly fucking fine with having like 10 kids from 10 different dudes. Like the idea that your father, the father of your children, should be the same, like it should be unacceptable otherwise. Like the idea that that's not really something that like Sun women really seem to care about, I mean, I think says a lot about the DNA basically.
Yeah, it's just it's DNA. It's not like, yeah, it's just like, yo, the sensibility. Like, check this out. Let me show you something. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Let me just show y'all this right quick. Was that it? Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it right here. Here we go. Let me show you something.
For everybody to keep asking me about where's my 6 kids' daddy at, let me let y'all know.
6 kids and 5 different baby daddies. Okay, where are they?
My first baby daddy, which was my first love, and he has transitioned from Tony to Tracy.
You can't make this up.
And he is now living in Atlanta, Georgia, dressed fully as a female. And he does not want to have anything to do with his child.
Okay, baby daddy number 1, Atlanta, Georgia, Tracy, doesn't want anything to do with the kid. The second one?
My second baby daddy was kicked in the chest by a horse. It gave him an instant heart attack and he died.
It's like we had no warm-up to what was going to be of the stories. Baby daddy number 2, unalived by a horse. Okay, number 3?
My third baby daddy, just a deadbeat. I didn't know that he was married, and when I told him I was pregnant, he confessed to her.
And she's going after his wife to pay child support because baby daddy number 3 has no job, but they're married, so you know how that goes. Baby daddy number 4?
My fourth baby daddy decided he wanted to fucking be a pirate.
Again, you can't make this up.
And go rob the boat freights and shit like that. So he is now serving 20 years.
So pirate baby daddy number 4 behind bars for 20 years. The last one?
And my last 2 kids have the same father. And he is 72 years old, living in a nursing home with dementia.
Yo, be so for real.
What the?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
I think this is the strongest DNA argument, because because sex is the most kind of like primal thing, right?
It's everything. Only thing you're alive for is to reproduce. That's it. Like, nobody's alive to have an Instagram page. Nobody's alive to be to go to get a degree in sociology. Nobody's, you know what I'm saying? You're allowed to fucking make more people. You know what I mean? Eat is the other thing. Eat, baby's the other thing.
Yeah, because the sex thing, especially with the young age, right? That's probably the best measurement other than IQ that you're going to get of time preference, right? So, you know, if we have sons that are, you know, getting like an 85 IQ, you know, they're losing their virginity before they're even in middle school. It's like, what do you do with a population
fucking
like that?
They're fucking out both pants legs before they're middle school. Like, it's not like, oh, you just have sex one day. No, you sex at that age and it feels good. You fucking like you have less inhibitions at that age. Like you fucking all the time. Like the dudes that I grew up with, like what I would say my big homie. Yeah, this nigga was fucking like. Yo, I'm married now. He fucking more than I am. Like he was fucking at what 13, and but he had been fucking, but like at that time, like
right.
when he was like when we would have sleepovers and shit. Because back in the 80s, you had sleepovers and shit. And so we would be like, it would be like, you know, watching movies at night and eating pizza and shit. So it's like his girlfriend, like his mom, like let his girlfriend come over sometimes. Like, yo, I knew several niggas who, yo, when we was like in elementary school, they had a girlfriend and the girlfriend could come over. But you had to talk to the parents. They had to talk to the other girls, to the girls' parents, and it'd be like 12-year-old girl staying over a 12-year-old boy house, and they'd be like, "Yeah, man, it's different." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, a glider can lose his virginity at a young age, but it's different because it's much more likely to be in a monogamous relationship with his girlfriend and that type of thing. Like he's not like sexually active in the same way that you just described. So like you lose virginity a lot earlier, and you also do it in a much more like
And
animalistic
there's more
type of
pressure.
way.
There's more pressure. Like it's like, yo, like, because so many have lost their virginity, it's not like we're like there's that guy who's fucking, like everybody except for you's fucking. It seems like, even though it's not necessarily like that, but it just feels like that if you in certain circles.
Which is enough. As long as it seems that way, then that's enough to kind of influence your behavior.
Yeah. Yeah, man. On that note, man, shout out to shout out to everybody who support the channel. Any final thoughts, man?
The police never showed up, yo.
Where? Oh, to your
yeah. And the crazy thing is, I live on a college campus. This is crazy.
Oh yeah. I know where you live at now. Yeah, definitely.
Yup, University.
Yeah. It's just like a gunshot is like. Do they have a shot spot over there?
No, they don't
Okay,
have
yeah, they're not showing up.
They need
you gotta have a shot spot. Yeah, you gotta have a shot spot for them to show up, man. They busy, man. Same Vlad time, same Vlad channel. Out of here. Peace out.
Peace, everybody.